Howdy, howdy. Rogers, the urban legend, here with another review for you. This here is Exoprimal, a relatively small outing by our friends over at Sega. You ever wonder what Warframe would be like if you broke it down in a bit more simplistic of a way, replaced all the enemies with dinosaurs, and filled your ears with an overbearing amount of dialogue? Well, here's your chance. You are tasked with continually appeasing the AI Leviathan with simulated tasks of killing swarms of our prehistoric buddies, piling bodies faster than a freshly out of work student to OnlyFans. How does this game function? Well, you choose one of 10 exosuits, similar to Warframes, and enter into these simulations with four other friends or your fair of randoms online. You're pitted against another group of five and are both in a competition of speed to beat the other team to completion. During the string of objectives, each team is awarded a Dominator, otherwise a big dino buddy where you or one of your teammates can summon. Then you can attack the other group while they are trying to complete their tasks. These are awarded in order of the leading group, aka whomever is trailing behind gets theirs first. The objectives range from holding a point to killing a specified number of enemies or even killing mini bosses, and there's others as well. The conclusion of the entire mission can either be PvP or PvE depending on the mode selected prior to entering. This means that once you get to the end, it could be just killing the mini boss and that's it, or you may have to compete with the other team to take over a point or capture an item. Now, before I get into the review, I want to preface this and every future review. I'm not big into lore or story for the majority of the time. Most games, I don't care about that. So, when you come to me, you're going to get reviews of gameplay and fun over anything else. I don't know about you, but I treat my gaming like porn. I don't watch it for the acting. Here you got your war game. This is literally just showing you the training and the dino survival, which is what all the missions are called. If you go to the home page, this will also show you your story progress. As you can see here on the left hand side, it says D16 Majesty's Destiny, and it'll go up to the next cutscene and it'll actually show you your progress towards that in this bar, and I'll end up unlocking D17 Durban's True Identity. This here actually shows you how many matches you've played to completion. Alright, now, as I said at the top of this video, I'm not big into lore or story unless the game really requires me to know the stuff. However, in this game, whether you'd like it or not, the story is literal progression and not just like a linear storyline as you're unlocking. It's literally you unlock individual storylines as you play the game, and every time they come up, you just simply click on it and it'll allow you to either play it if it's a video, or you can see whatever the documentation is, and it unlocks different quests, different missions, I should say, and as you get higher up, the progress will continue to increase. And as this increases, and as you unlock more of this map, you unlock more missions as well as boss fights. I have, at this point in time, played against two different bosses. One was a legit boss that you would see in an MMO with all sorts of mechanics, to a gauntlet of sorts where you just had to clear out waves and waves of mobs with a much smaller, like lesser version of an end game boss at the very end of it. So it was an endurance fight. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this here. What we're about to do is talk about the characters. There's quite a few. There's actually a total of 10 characters in the game, 4 assault, 3 tank, and 3 support. And it's exactly how you are reading it right now. Each one of these is just like if you were playing an RPG. Assault is your DPS, your tanks, and your support are your healers, or crowd control as well. Now, the way these work is you level each character up. Let's just select the default character. Yes, this is a skin that was unlocked through just regular playtime. And it is a Capcom game, so what do you expect? And here's your progress bar. It's almost like having a little miniature battle pass for your characters. Goes up to 20 for regular characters, and once you hit level 20, you can actually unlock the alpha version. Now, if anybody's familiar with a game like Warframe, it's essentially a upgraded or a variation of the original suit of armor. Now, let's get into the more intricate part of your character. Let's go back here. Rigs and modules. Rigs are essentially a kind of a miniature ultimate. They're not full-on ultimates. They don't do heavy damage, and they refresh relatively quickly. And you have 8 different ones to choose from. These are unlocked through leveling. You can go anything from a cannon, which is the initial original thing that you get, and you can get things like even an aid that might help repair mech suits around you. Now, for each one of these characters, there is a set of 3 modules that you can install to it. As you can see over to the left, we have slot 1 through 3. When you click on one of these, it'll give you all the options that you can put into that individual slot. Typically, for each character, slot number 1 will enhance their main damage attack, their main weapon, what have you. The second one is one of their alternate attacks, and their third slot is typically a movement ability. So as you can see here, for this guy, I have Blast Enhancer. It allows my grenades to be a larger area of effect, as well as increases my ammo capacity. This one here, I have a secondary skill that I jump in the air and I throw down 3 explosives. This one here makes the explosives last on the ground a bit longer, and when they explode, they leave fire that lasts a longer time. It also reduces the cooldown of that ability. Dodge roll, or reload dodge I should say, is exactly what you think. I use my dodge ability, and it'll reload my ammo capacity. Now this option here is the career option, which is really just your own personal statistics, player level, your battle pass, and yes, there is a premium battle pass that you can pay for. It's just tons and tons of exactly what you would think. Skins, plaques, stickers, all sorts of things. Basically all cosmetic. Season Pass is about $10 US. Comwheel is essentially exactly what it sounds like. You can make your character do emotes, or you can actually tell other characters you understand commands or to gather up, stuff like that. There's no in-game typing. There is in-game voice, however. Here's your emote list. Pretty much your standard stuff. Customization, there's charms for your character, there's decals in a few different positions on the character. There's weapon skins. Not a lot for this one, you can see. And then you have exosuit skins, which can be anything from just recolorings to full-on goofiness. So yeah, there's a bit of that in this game as well. However, if you look at this one, you can see it says purchase at store. This is one of those microtransactions. So far what I've seen, that's all it is, cosmetic stuff. The rest of the stuff you can legitimately just buy with in-game currency, which is up here. It's called Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay. Now there are also war chests that you do earn throughout gameplay.
Oh, whoa. Okay, I'll take a legendary skin for a character I don't use.
Yeah, that's the one I got yesterday.
4,000 coins? That's nice.
So let's go ahead and get down to brass tacks. Pros and cons. Pros, if you've been watching the footage in the background, it's not bad looking. Pretty good looking game. It's definitely modern. It's definitely got some shortcuts. However, overall visual presentation's above average. Sounds good. The guns, everything sounds satisfying. The roars and the screams and the screeches of the various dinosaurs are very appealing and just kind of adds to the chaotic nature of this game. There's a lot of room for growth as well. There's no reason why we can't go to other places, maybe even into space for all that matters. Right now, there's a couple of urban settings and a couple industrial settings. There's not too much variety, but what we have here already looks good and they could easily expand upon that. The combat is very satisfying. Everything's punchy, everything shows a sign of doing what it's supposed to do. If it's a big hit, you can feel it. And it's also translates to the PvP side of things. PvP is pretty satisfying. Granted, it doesn't happen too often. It's mostly a PvE game, but when you do interact and have to fight the other team, team fights can be very chaotic and very fun. Another great thing is if you get into a game, as I said before, the games aren't really selectable, like the type of game you're going to be playing. The only thing you can choose is if you're going to do PvP, PvE, or just random. With that being said, if you come into the game and you have a character that's not very good, or say different person is leveling like a healing class and you don't need two healers, you can switch in game at any time by hitting T, selecting the character. You will jump out of the robot because you are a human character inside of these things, and then you can hit the X button again, or I'm sorry, Z button, and it'll bring up the new mech, and you'll jump into that one and just smooth keep going. However, we got some cons here. Now, as I said before, the visuals, they're not bad. They're pretty clean, but it won't take long before you notice the repetition. This map here, as you see in the background, there are multiple places where the mission can start in a different spot, traverse and actually cross over paths with the same places you've done before, and you'll notice repetition pretty quickly. With that being said, again, they just need to add some more zones, and I don't think that would be too much of a problem. Now, another problem with missions in general, for me at least, is the incredibly long mission staging area. Once you choose your mission, you have to first wait for 9 other people to get put into the lobby, and then you'll load into the lobby. That's when Leviathan will pop up. He'll talk about your previous endeavors, how good or bad you were doing, and he'll talk your ear off for a good, I don't know, minute to minute and a half. And that'll be until you actually can load into the game itself and start the mission correctly. It's a slog, and I feel like there's a bit of an issue with the ability to skip in-game cutscenes. Now, on your own, when you're doing mission progress and it's just you and your profile, all you have to do is hold space and you can skip it. But in these games, you can actually get 3-4 minute long cutscenes before a boss fight, and just like I said with the mission staging area, and it just slogs and it feels like it's unnecessary. You get to the point real quick that you don't want to listen to this stuff. What this game really needs in actual missions is for a skippable button, something that everybody can all hold the button and skip, and just be like a vote and be able to skip over that kind of stuff. Another issue is the strange lack of skill showcases in the character select sheet. So when you're in your regular profile, your regular character's sheet, I guess you would say, uh, you can't see the skills for some reason. I don't know if I'm missing a menu. I looked around, I couldn't find anything. However, when you're in game, when you're in an actual mission, you can hold F1 and it'll bring up your entire skill sheet so you can see what each of your abilities does. It's just really strange to me. Again, I might be missing something, but I can't find it. Other than that, I would say the pros definitely outweigh the cons currently. It's relatively smooth. I didn't run into any bugs. I saw a couple issues with connectivity issues, but it wasn't anything that detracted me from playing the game. The final verdict, I would say yes. It's worth a pickup as long as you can get it on sale. I don't believe it's worth the $60 price tag for the time being. It needs more content before I could advocate for buying at full price. And without further ado, I end all of my videos with some gameplay footage. Here's a full match. Enjoy, and I'll catch y'all later.
You can rocket jump though. That's like the name of this guy.
What do you mean? If you shoot the ground, you can launch yourself in the air?
Yeah, like
Oh, fuck. That's kind of cool. How come you can't do that with the grenades?
yourselves for interdimensional travel. Prepare for combat. The first battle, all of the assigned objectives wins. Do your part and generate robust combat data. Enemy team has progressed to the final.
Oh, come on. I used my... I got out of that.
summoned for the next combat test.
My foes embrace the blade and triumph. Each dinosaur falls.
The best exo fighters in this war